Yeah, I'm, disappointed with Saturday night, but not discouraged, I think is the best way for me to say it. Played a really good team in Kentucky and got down early, kicked off. They converted a couple third downs and then pinned us deep. We had a bad first series there offensively, went 3 and out, punted away, and their very dangerous returner was very dangerous and got ourselves in an early hole, 14-0. Super proud of our defense, especially in that second quarter. We put them into a couple of really bad situations, field position-wise, and prevented them from putting points on the board, and so going into half at 17-3, you never want to be down 14 points, but we actually felt pretty good for the situation, the circumstances that we put ourselves in. And then to some degree really rallied, at halftime offensively. We were able to sustain some drives and score some points. We still left points out there on the field. But again, disappointed but not discouraged, and really feel as though we forged some of our identity, for this season on Saturday night. And again, we're very confident in what we can become.
Let's open it up first for questions for Coach. Tom?
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the end of the ball game and your conversation with Mark Stoops, and really Kentucky's continuing to throw the ball late when they really could have taken a knee. Can you give us any insight into that discussion, and if your thoughts were that Kentucky was trying to run up the score at all?
No, he and he didn't have to do this, but he said, "Hey, look, we're trying to get this guy some snaps, get him ready," and I understand that, totally understand that.
Defensively, it seemed like you guys had difficulty getting pressure on the quarterback. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, we did. Part of that, it's a really good offensive line. And their offense has the ability to run the ball very effectively, lots of different ways, a very, very good passing game, and then a quarterback that you just you better be in your passing lanes and better not give him any ability to run the football because he's going to hurt you. And so I think we had to defend the whole field, had to be really smart, had to try to keep things in front of us, and we didn't feel as though got much pressure when we brought pressure, and then even with just our four-man front.
You didn't get the result you were looking for, but you're proud of the fight that your team put into that. They never gave up in that one, and it seems maybe years past a team that would get down might fold, but that certainly didn't seem to be what Eastern Michigan did. They continued to fight, it appeared.
There's been in a lot of different football games and with a lot of different teams, and unfortunately, I've experienced where you're playing somebody who is really good, and at halftime you're down significantly, and they relax, maybe start playing some different people, and then all of a sudden you find your rhythm and start scoring some points. But you just play more free, and at the end of the game, it's like, oh gosh, if we'd played like that the whole game, we would have been okay. And the answer to that really is no, you wouldn't have been. That was not this game. That was not this game at all. We were playing hard all the way through. That never changed. And again, we weren't able to muster points like we needed to early on. And they were up 14, so we were playing from behind from an early time. But I know the difference between those two scenarios, and that was not us this Saturday.
If you look statistically at the game, really where they got you was their running game. They seemed to really gash you guys with the run. How do you correct that moving forward as far as facing Illinois?
Yeah, well, again, we had to defend the whole field, versus these guys, and they may have run effectively versus us, and we have our own standards by which we name something an explosive play. But our goal each week is to have 3 or less explosives on defense, and we held them to 3. So a team like that, even though they were running the ball and moving the chains, it was 17 at the end of the first half. And again, that's I think in the first half there was 2 sudden change situations. So it felt early on like it could be really explosive, but it wasn't. our guys did a good job of keeping the ball in front of them. And we're definitely going to have to shore up, our run defense. We're going to have to get more pressure on the quarterback. Those are things that we'll be working on, this week and beyond.
You have an extremely talented core of receivers. But Dune, could you talk a little bit about him? Here's a kid that has really kind of popped onto the scene that many thought maybe might not be a player in this organization, but definitely made an impact against Kentucky.
Well, nobody in the program was surprised by it. He, he walked onto the team a couple years ago and is really football smart, has a lot of ability, and is a great person. And has just fought and scratched and clawed and has earned everyone's respect. And so that here we are in a 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6, at Kentucky, and Haas is out there, as a primary receiver on one of our routes on 3rd down and made a great catch. So I think it was his first 2 catches of his career. His first one could have been a touchdown, but it wasn't. I get to coach him on some special teams, so I've had him for a couple years, does a great job there, and really proud of him. I think everybody's happy for him, but not surprised.
Yeah, so going on to this week, Illinois is averaging 36.5 points and they're getting almost 400 yards per game. Can you talk about what you'll try and do to slow it down a little bit?
Yeah, they're, it's another program that we're going up against that's really good. I mean, I would add to that their quarterback's thrown 7 touchdowns and 1 interception. So they've got really good balance. If you can make a team one-dimensional, it can be a lot easier. But these guys are very effective in the pass game as well. So again, we're gonna have to defend the whole field. Quarterback can run the ball, not like Kentucky's, but you still have to be aware of him. So it's going to be a full defensive effort. We got to stop the run and the pass, and again keep the ball in front of us. So we're trying to figure that out right now. It's Monday, and we're working on it right now.
Yeah, and then with this being the last road game before you guys go home, can you just talk about why it's difficult to start the season with 3 road games?
We don't mind being on the road. Now having 2 5 to 6 hour bus trips back to back and playing 7:30 at night and getting back at 6:30 in the morning, and then going to Illinois with an 11 a.m. kickoff after the 6 hours on Friday. Those are all things that you just have to deal with, and nobody feels sorry for you. But we don't mind playing on the road. All that to say, we really don't. I think if you're asking what the challenge is, what bothers me or what's unfortunate about it is I don't like the fact that our whole football team hasn't been together for a football game and won't be for an entire month. You can't take everybody on the road, and there's guys that have put so much of their lives into this football program, and for the first 3 not to be able to be there, that bothers me personally, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and then just one more. They're allowing less than 40 yards rushing per game. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean it's their average is 1.1 yards a rush. Their defensive front is very active, lots of movement, really good athletes. It's very well coordinated, so it'll be a challenge. Built very differently than Kentucky.
Question?
Just 49 rushing yards against Kentucky on Saturday. What can the offense do to get the running game going more against Illinois?
Yeah, a lot of that was the front that we were facing. If you watched it, it wasn't that we were pounding the ball at them and was not able to muster yards. We spread them out and threw the ball very effectively. And then I think when we had success was when we ran the ball with our quarterback, and then when we caught them off guard. A lot of people run to set up the pass. Last week for us, it was more of a pass to set up the run. We'll have a different game plan for Illinois, different defensive structures.
So coming off of Kentucky, going to this next week, as a team, what do you guys plan on doing differently to change things up?
In terms of?
Just outcome. Coming off of Kentucky with a loss, going to this next week, what do you plan on doing different, changing things up to hopefully have a better outcome?
Well, they're completely different weeks. I mean, every week you come up with a plan offensively, defensively, and special teams against your opponent. There are base characteristics and philosophies that won't change for us, but yeah, I mean, every week we're planning on having success.
Your two student athletes here, some quick comments on those. Brody was today named MAC West Division Player of the Week after his performance at Kentucky.
Awesome.
Talk about his play so far in 2019.
Yeah, Brody's a great player, just not in 2019 after 2 games, but since he stepped on campus. He's the epitome of a winner. Love having him on our team. You know, you can teach fundamentals and teach scheme and whatnot, but then there's guys that just have that innate ability and really any sport to know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And it's the best way that I could describe Brody Hoying. He's just a winner, and he knows how to play the game. He's gotten off to a great start. You know, he plays the run well, plays the pass well. He is always ball aware. He will take the ball away from you. He showed that Coastal Carolina. I think that was the first one of the season for us. Just a great interception. And whether he's actually, you know, scooping and scoring or picking the ball off, whenever he's tackling, if he's the second, third guy there, you know, he's always trying to rake or punch that ball out. And when our team, and I told him this in the locker room after the game, the more Brody Hoying can influence our football team, the better off we're going to be.
And then wide receiver Keon Williams, who's been here, continues to help with a solid underclassmen-led group. You've got a bunch of underclass and some seniors, too, that have created a really good mix.
Well, actually, in the locker room with Q after the game, too, I said, I don't know if you remember this, but I said, you're not a freshman anymore because he's not playing like it. You know, he's had 2 really good games, you know, and this is redshirt sophomore year. And it's time for him to have that maturity as a receiver and not just everybody getting excited for him if he does, you know, has a catch. That's not the case with Q anymore. He's got great ability. That catch on 3rd and 10 was phenomenal. It wasn't as good as the release. So whatever's better than phenomenal is what his release was. And then just a big-time catch on that 3rd and 10 in this football game. But, again, just 2 games into it, we're not surprised by that. He's going to continue to get better and better. Love him.
Anything else for Coach before bringing student athletes up?
Just one last question. As far as playing Illinois, the MAC has had a great history as far as battling the Big Ten and beating teams from the Big Ten. Do you put any of that type of message out to your team, or this is just Illinois? It's not a Big Ten team. We're not trying to continue a streak of you've beaten Rutgers, you've beaten Purdue. Is there any special message that goes along with playing a Big Ten team, or do you just set it up as it's just game week?
Yeah, no, I mean, our guys, you know, we're excited to play the Sun Belt. I mean, before we went down to Coastal Carolina, we put up some stats, and we were 0-1 versus the Sun Belt, and that was Georgia Southern in the bowl game. And so we wanted to do something about that. And I think it was after 126 years, we got a Power 5 win and, you know, beat Rutgers. And then last year, you know, we're able to beat Purdue. But, I mean, our guys are going to be excited. Our guys are going to be excited because we haven't played a full football game yet. You know, we're always growing, but we're still really coming into our own. But there's an excitement about it. You know, it's not we're not discouraged at all. It's just we're excited to get back out there and get out to practice and get better because we know that we can become what we believe we can become. And so this is a really good, talented, well-coached football team. I mean, in the first week of the season, they beat up Akron pretty good. You know, I think it's 42-3. You know, then went to UConn and first road game for them and played well there. And you just talked about the stats. They're giving up 1.1 yards a rush. Quarterbacks thrown for 7 and 1 interception. They're running the ball well. I mean, so our guys know that that this is going to be tough, but we relish those. And so there'll definitely be excitement. We'll be excited for 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, I don't know what that looks like, but I know that we'll be there.
For Brody up first.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
What's up, guys?
Questions?
Brody, do you guys take it personal, what a team's throwing on you late when they could take a knee? And what was the defensive state of mind as Kentucky continued to push to the end zone late in that game?
We didn't take it personal, not really at all. We understood they lost their star quarterback, and Terry Wilson was a heck of a quarterback, and I feel, first off, really bad for him. I know Turan did not do that intentionally, so just prayers out to Terry and his recovery. But we understand they're getting ready for SEC play, and the quarterback hadn't had any snaps with them. So for them to get some time, for him to get some plays under his belt and some passes off with the one receivers, we understand is important for them. So we didn't take that personal at all. We understand. That's football, you know.
How do you feel the defense played as a whole over the course of that 60 minutes?
Not great, but good at times. A lot of room for improvement. We watched the film. There's stuff we could have done better, but there's stuff that we also did good. We need to play really well to beat that team. That's a good offense. My 3 years here playing now, that's one of the very few offenses that we really haven't been able to figure out the whole game. Usually we can figure out a team and kind of limit them a little bit, but they kept hitting us with different stuff, and that was a good offense. We got to get better.
How do you play better against the run this week? What's the key?
More film, better practices. I think last week we didn't practice very well on one of the days, and that was a big reason why Kentucky was able to move the ball like they did against us. So we have to prepare better. Better preparation will be better on Saturday. I hope so, but yeah, just better preparation. We have the players up front and linebackers and all over the defense to do what we have to do to stop the run. We just got to do it now. We know we can. We've done it against good teams.
Brody, as of just a couple minutes ago, you're the MAC West Division Defensive Player of the Week this week. First game at Coastal, you displayed kind of your ability to get in the passing lanes with the interception. This week, you come back with 9 tackles and a half sack. What do you feel has been the key for you this year in terms of being able to display both of those kind of aspects of your game?
Yeah, it's awesome. That's a good honor, and it's cool. The coaches put me in a great situation in my position I play for me to make plays. And the guys around me, my support, the whole secondary, like I said, the guys up front can't do it without them, and then the linebackers, it's a great defense. So as an offense, you got to pick a spot to attack, and the coaches are just putting me in the right spot to make the plays. I'm just out there doing it, you know.
I know you guys are still kind of getting into game week preparations here for Illinois, but as Coach talked about, they've got a quarterback who has a 65% and above completion percentage on the season, 7 touchdowns to 1 interception. What do you know about the Illinois offense, and what do you think the biggest aspect in terms of your job this week will be to helping to contain that?
Yeah, it's a spread RPO offense, and I like that a lot. That kind of plays into I play instinctively for the most part, and with the RPO, that's a lot has to do with me with the run or pass. So just make it difficult on the quarterback every play. Try to give them mix-up looks to let them not know what we're in, and I know the rest of our defense is going to do their job too. So at the end of the day, it's just everyone doing their job, and we're going to figure them out.
Yeah, so they have an 82% red zone percentage right now. Can you talk about what you'll do to stop them down there?
Yeah, we have a really good red zone defense. The biggest thing is just I think the film study in the red zone, because teams get really high tendencies when they get to the red zone. And with film study on them and just our blue-collar defense, I think we'll be able to stop them. Like I said before, our coaches are going to put us in situations for us to make the plays, and we're just going to have to do it. We know we got a good red zone defense, and we can do it. We just got to show up and do it on Saturday.
Yeah, and then they also have a 58% third down percentage. Can you talk about why that's such a big thing?
Yeah, that is a good percentage. And our third down defense hasn't been great this year. That's probably our priority of emphasis this week, if I were to guess. So that's what we're going to attack all week in practice and figure out how to stop that, because that is really good. Usually teams are closer to like 40, 45%. So that's going to be our emphasis this week, is getting off the field on third downs.
All right, thank you.
Why hasn't it been good?
Good question. We're getting in good situations. You know, we're getting them in third and longs most of the time, just haven't been able to execute the game plan so far. Like I said, we got the guys to do it. We've done it before. We've done it in years past. Just you know, haven't been able to do it yet this year, but we're going to get there. I got confidence in our defense.
36.5 points per game. What you guys do to slow them down?
Just, keep doing what we're doing. They got a good offense, new quarterback, they grad transfer from Michigan. But like I've been saying, our defense is good. We play hard. We're usually able to figure teams out come the second half. Just do everything we can to slow them down, and I know our coaches are going to our defense is big on them putting us in the position to make plays. So I know they're going to do everything they can, and we're just going to show up and do what we can do.
Anything else for Brody? Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brody.
Questions for Quian?
Quian, offensively, the first 2 weeks of the season, you guys have gotten off to slow starts offensively. Can you put a finger on why that is?
Like Coach Creighton said, we just haven't put together a full game of football yet. And I have complete confidence in the offense that we'll put it together this week and the weeks coming.
I guess people want to know, if you haven't played a full game yet, what percentage do you think you've played of a full game? Are you guys at 30%, 50%?
The percentage is hard to put a finger on. When it comes to playing a full game of football, you just kind of know it. That's more of a feel thing. But, yeah.
How did you feel the offense played against Kentucky?
I feel like we got off to a slow start. We tried to I just don't think we were playing our game at first. But then when, the smoke cleared, we started settling down, playing our game. We just started moving the ball more efficiently. And, it just took us a while. We just can't have slow starts like that.
What are the keys offensively for you guys against Illinois?
The keys offensively, in my opinion, I just feel like we just need to play our game, have fun, relax, and that's all we got to do. And everything else will take care of itself because, everything we're running now is the same thing we've been running since spring.
When you say that, does it mean you guys are starting games a little tight? You don't loosen up till later in the game?
Yeah, I could say that. I could say we do that. I feel like sometimes we might try to do a little too much, but, yeah.
Quian, so week 1, Mike found 8 different targets, and then week 2 he had 9. Can you talk about why he's been able to spread it out so much?
I just feel like that's just everyone just executing and just being in the right places where they're supposed to be. Just like where we're all coached to be, and just making plays. And he just has complete confidence in all the receivers, running backs, just like the coaches do.
And then can you talk about why you think you'll be able to continue that against Illinois' defense?
Just going back to confidence thing, we're all pretty confident in what we're doing. We're not letting that loss get to us. So we're just gonna, like I said, we're just gonna keep on doing what we're doing and just looking forward to executing in the future.
All right, thank you.
Week 1, hauling your first touchdown reception. This week you followed it up with a 6-catch performance. For you, what's been the biggest jump from your redshirt freshman year to this now your redshirt sophomore year in your personal development?
Personally, just becoming more of a student of the game, not relying on my talent, just not relying on my talent, and then just knowing all the positions on the field, because I feel like last year I would just try to focus on what I would have to do instead of understanding concepts and just the whole scheme of things. And when I started doing that, I just felt like everything just started happening for me, and
As an offense this year, you guys are averaging almost 200 yards a game more passing than you are rushing. What can the receivers do to help open up the run game against a team like Illinois?
Maybe helping up the run game. I would say just try to keep the defenders on their toes, just have them guessing a little more, just come out even harder than we have been, and I feel like that'll just help open up things. When you keep cracking away at it, I feel like it'll eventually open up.
Illinois averaging almost 40 points per game scoring this season. You guys feel as though you have to score over 30 points to win this game?
We have complete confidence in our defense to hold the opposing team to less points than we have, and we're just gonna go out as an offense and score as many points as we can. And scoring every drive, that would be ideal, but that's not how football works all the time. So we're not worried too much about that. We're just gonna go play our game, and then hopefully we'll end up on the right side of the scoreboard.